One of my favorite aspects of One Piece is indeed the bounty system, because while essentially it is a glorified power system, but still, unlike other shonen counterparts, it doesn't really incorporate a lot of the shenanigans which come with any traditional power scaling system. But at the same time, it also gives us a very clear picture of the top brass in this world of One Piece, and that includes a lot of these characters, including the captains, the worst generation, and above all, the Yonkos as well. Now, ever since Wano started, this particular discussion surrounding the bounty system has revolved back to one singular question or one singular remark or expression, and that is, what's going to happen with the Straw Hats specifically after Wano? Now, this equation has changed a lot since the starting days of Wano. Initially, we thought that this was going to be a simple one-on-one altercation or a battle against the forces of Kaido and effectively the Beast Pirates. We were not explicitly clear if Big Mom was going to join the forces, but now with things in hindsight, we have a much clearer picture of what exactly is going on here, specifically with Big Mom and the Big Mom Pirates being added into this particular equation. So that begs us the question, what will be the bounties of the Straw Hats, and specifically what is going to be the bounty of Luffy after the end of Wano? Because we know that a major update for Luffy's bounty is just around the corner. There have been multiple discussion videos on YouTube, on forums, on Reddits going on and on and on, talking about what can be the next major step. And the range has varied from about 2.5 billion berries to even 4 billion berries. But in this particular video, I'm going to showcase my opinion or tell you all my opinion as to why I think that Luffy's bounty is actually going to surpass all of these things, as he is going to become the most important or most wanted man in the entirety of One Piece, in the entire world of One Piece. So stay with me on this one, and hello and welcome to WhyZ, and thank you so much for joining in. If you're new here, then please consider subscribing to our channel, since I do weekly anime and manga related content along with a bunch of other stuff. With that being said, let's just quickly jump into the video. Now, as you all saw in the thumbnail for this video, I definitely do believe that Luffy is going to become the most important or the most wanted man in the world of One Piece. Now, let's be real about it, this is something which we all knew was going to happen someday in the future of the series. I mean, this is a shonen after all, and this is the protagonist of a shonen which we are talking about. Even though One Piece breaks a lot of the norms, a lot of the tropes which it has been a part of, but still, this was a trope which we knew is going to come up at some point in the story. But in this video, I'm going to give you all a breakdown of why I think that this is not just going to be because of any kind of a shonen trope, but rather this is something which Oda has basically foreshadowed to us pretty much right from the starting of Water 7, and this has been teased to us numerous times before. But before discussing all of these things, we need to have a look at Luffy's bounties to get a basically clear understanding of what exactly we are dealing with right here. So the first bounty that Luffy got was of 30 million, then it was 100 million, 300 million, 400 million, 500 million, and finally 1.5 billion. Now, as you can see, unlike popular notion, there's no explicit counterpart or explicit equation on how Luffy's bounties are actually calculated. You can see a general pattern that sometimes maybe a 3 times or 3x calculation takes place, but it's not the most obvious ones. There are times where it is not exactly a 1/1 example or a 1/1 multiplication of times 3. The almost times 3 multiplication happened in the first time and happened in the latest time, where his bounty rose from 500 million to 1.5 billion. So that was the 3 times 3x multiplication. But because of this, specifically because of this, many people are speculating that maybe the next jump in Luffy's bounty is going to be a 2x multiplier, and therefore we are going to sort of land somewhere around 3 billion to 3.2 billion, which is actually a very good mark. But my reasoning here suggests that Luffy is easily going to surpass more than 3 times here, and that is in fact going to be 5 billion bellies or 5 billion berries. Now hear me out on this one, I'm not going crazy over this. I definitely do have a major reason to back all of these things up. Now first of all, before we move any further, we need to understand what exactly the belly system is all about, or what exactly this bounty system is all about. Now, the bounties are basically monetary rewards which are issued by the world government, which are implemented via the Marines so that they are able to capture notorious criminals, notorious pirates, and basically do give a punishment to sort of these people. So that is basically the bounty system. It's not a power level, but it definitely gives us a good understanding or a good gauge of how powerful or how deadly a person can be. This is one of the major reasons why Captain Kidd was having a higher bounty than Luffy initially when he was introduced at Sabaody. And it's here that we learn that since Kidd was doing a lot more harm to the general public, to the general civilians, he had a higher bounty than Luffy. But things didn't stay the same for long, because Luffy, one after the other, in a very short amount of time, in a very short span of time, was doing a lot more stuff, was doing huge stuff, which are basically tumbling down the balance of this entire world. It has just gone beyond the lives of some people or some civilians. This is the entire world which is currently at stake because of the actions, because of the direct actions of Luffy, and by extension the Straw Hats as well. Now, all of this obviously began with Water 7 and by extension Enies Lobby. Enies Lobby was the starting point for all of these things, because here Sogeking literally burned down the world government's flag, which is in a way a direct declaration of war against the world government. And he directly defied the orders of the world government, rescued Nico Robin, who was a part of the Ohara incident, and this was basically the starting point of everything. From here on, things just trickled down and got bigger and bigger and bigger. From punching a celestial dragon at Sabaody to even going so far to break down from Impel Down, which is supposed to be one of the most heavily guarded and heavily secure places in the entire world of One Piece. And furthermore, he caused huge mayhem at the Marineford War, at the Paramount War. He was going toe to toe against Whitebeard. Obviously, he was no match for Whitebeard at that particular moment in time, but he showcased his fierce nature, he showcased his conqueror's haki to a stunned audience. As a direct result of his actions, the world basically changed for better or for worse. Because of his actions, directly or indirectly, you could say that Blackbeard was finally able to take down the life of Whitebeard. So once again, because of the indirect references or influences of Luffy, a huge gap, a huge void was created in the world of One Piece. Then at the same time, in the Marineford War, we are also learned of some more interesting truths about the lineage of Luffy, that he is the grandson of Garp, and at the same time he's the son of the most notorious criminal in the history of One Piece, that being Monkey D. Dragon. That itself is going to give him a very huge name. It was a very huge deal, and this was just selling papers. This was just selling papers like anything. And at the same time, people also learned that he's the sworn brother of Ace. Now, moving forward, he caused more mayhem at Fishman Island, although that's not very effective here. But just after that, he defeated Doflamingo. He defeated Don Quixote Doflamingo, which directly contributed to the nullification of the Shichibukai system. And because of everything which happened on Dressrosa, the Shichibukai were finally taken down. The entire system was broken down because of the efforts of Fujitora. And from there on, the entire incidents at Whole Cake Island and now leading up to Wano, he has effectively taken down 3 institutions of the world government. He has proved his word to the entire world and how destructive and how powerful he actually is. At the same time, he has caused the unification of 2 of the most strongest person currently in the world, that being the combined forces of ex-members of the Rocks Pirate, being Kaido and Big Mom. He is the direct reasoning behind all of these things. At the same time, he touted to be the next Joy Boy, and this is something which even the world government is actually aware of. Now, moving forward in Wano, we get even bigger revelations, which I was honestly not expecting here at this particular moment. But we learn that Luffy's fruit, Luffy's seemingly ordinary looking fruit of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, is actually a very special fruit, which is something which Shanks stole from the world government, and for this, Huzu was basically imprisoned at Impel Down. So that already is a huge reason for the world government to take a direct interest at him. The same goes for a lot of the incidents which he has been causing and how he has been linked with the Joy Boy. And don't forget, during the Reverie arc as well, the Gorosei are directly talking about Luffy, and in fact Imu himself is holding a picture of Luffy and tearing it down. All the while the Gorosei are asking that which light should be the next which is needed to be extinguished from the entire world. And now in One Piece chapter 1041, we get a direct confirmation of this from the Gorosei themselves, who are now asking the CP0 to stop the plan of capturing Nico Robin and directly go after Luffy. That is the new order of the Gorosei, that is the new order that the CP0 has to follow. They have to take down Luffy once and for all. Now obviously this is for a number of different reasons, but another major reason might be something which is why the Gorosei is actually very scared, which is Luffy's Devil Fruit, or rather let's say the awakening of Luffy's Devil Fruit, which is going to be a very huge deal. I've already made a couple of videos talking about all of these things. Links to it are in the description below and on the I button. Do go and watch that because I think it's going to be very substantial for the future of One Piece. So keeping all of these things at mind and combining all of these things at mind, I do believe that Luffy at this moment is probably one of the most important man in the entire world, and he is not just important, but he is in fact the most wanted man. I mean, I totally skipped over the Sabo part as well. That is also a very huge deal, specifically with everything which is currently thought to be happening at the Reverie arc and whatever happened with Sabo. We'll get more information about that once Wano is finally over. But at the end of Wano, when the new bounties for the Straw Hats are revealed, when the new bounties for everyone is revealed, I'm 100% sure here that Luffy's bounty is going to surpass 5 billion. Now some people might say that this is crazy because it's surpassing both Big Mom and Kaido, and yeah, it has to be. At this moment it has to be because we are in the end game of One Piece now. I mean, sure, still we have about 5 years left, but realistically and thematically speaking, Luffy has to be at the top of his game right now. And the only person who probably should have a bigger bounty than Luffy is undoubtedly Blackbeard. And I am 100% certain that once we come out of Wano, we are going to learn more about Blackbeard's ordeal and what exactly he's up to and why his bounty has also risen up during this particular time. And finally, in this particular theory, you could give me one justification or one logic that okay, maybe his bounty cannot surpass 5 billion, and that is Shanks. Shanks' bounty was at around 4 billion to 20 million if I'm not wrong, or something along those lines. It has not crossed 5 billion basically. But to this I'd say that it is fine. Shanks is not actively hunting people or not causing a huge mayhem or disrupting the powers of the world government at this particular moment in time. So that's why his bounty doesn't need to increase drastically unless he's also working on something huge which we are not aware at this moment in time. And due to this, I feel like it's fine if Luffy's bounty finally surpasses Shanks, because I still believe that for Elbaf, whenever Luffy eventually meets Shanks, they are not going to actually fight. I still believe in the theory that the Davy back fight is going to be a very important piece of interaction for both of these characters. And therefore, because of this particular notion, I don't really feel like Shanks' bounty is having any particular correlation to Luffy's actual bounty. But these are basically my thoughts in this particular regard as to why I feel like Luffy is definitely going to become the most important or the most wanted man at the end of Wano. And on the road to becoming the Pirate King, the world government is now finally going to focus all their undiluted attention towards the Straw Hats in order to stop Luffy once and for all, because of his direct actions, because of what exactly he is, and at the same time the awakening for his Devil Fruit as well. So this is it for this quick video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more. This is WhyZ, and I'll see you all on the next one. In the meantime, be sure to join the channel membership for some very cool perks and features. Join the Discord server for more.